Hi guys. So before I get you all out of the screen, I just feel like I can kind of have a sense that I'm talking to you for a moment before we begin. We are going to work on the lungs and the spleen tonight because we're in lung territory at the moment, autumn in traditional Chinese medicine. So what we're going to be focusing on is the lung energy pathways on the inner seam of the arms. So we're going to be doing front arms, and then the spleen energy pathways in the front line of the body, so up the legs and then into the stomach and the spleen area. And energetically, the lungs and the spleen together, we're giving a real energetic immunity boost and working on our vitality. So that's what these two organs do together. And to begin with, we're going to start in a kneeling position. So blankets if you're sensitive in the knees. Oh, I can hear somebody, just give me one sec. Oh, no, fine. No, who's there? There we go. Okay. Okay, so bolster or cushions to kneel on. We're going to start in Seiza. So Seiza is for kneeling position. And if you don't have a bolster to straddle, you can sit on cushions, you can have blankets underneath your knees. I like this because I do have a little bit of a funny knee at the moment, so it takes the pressure off the knee. And before we begin, just let yourself notice your breath this evening. When we begin to breathe into our fullest capacity, we begin to open the communication pathways with the lungs. So if you can begin to really breathe into your fullest capacity, and when you feel like you can't take any more air in, you draw in another thread of breath. Empty all the air out. Okay, and then we're going to start with finger fans to get that energy to the lungs moving. So you'll take your arms out in front of you, turn the palms face up towards the sky. I've done this a couple of times. If you need to keep your eyes open, you're more than welcome, but if you do a few rounds and you feel confident, I invite you to close down the eyes so that you can really turn your awareness and your energy internally. We begin by, fanning the fingers in, thumb on top. Lift the elbows, the fists go behind you. And you push the palms right out to the sides, extending through the fingertips. Palms turn up, finger fan, make fist, thumb on top. The fists go behind you, lift the elbows up towards the sky, and roll the shoulders out. Push the palms out in front and drop the chin to the chest. Palms to the sky, finger fan. Fist behind you, lift the elbows. Roll the shoulders and push out to the edges of the room, extending through the fingertips. Arms turn up, finger fan, breath in. Exhale, roll the shoulders, push the palms forward, dropping the chin to the chest so you're opening up between the shoulder blades. Inhale, finger fan, elbows to sky. Exhale, roll the shoulders, push right out to the fingertips. Finger fan, breathing in. Exhale, roll the shoulders, chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more rounds. Be mindful of your breath, really allowing your movement and your breath to be flowing together. Slow it down if you can, there's no rush. Last round. Let the palms rest down onto the thighs. Close the eyes. And can you let your focus be on the upper body, shoulders, the arms, maybe even the palms, tingling. The energy through to the lungs is now beginning to move and flow. Okay, so before we make our way into our first hold, I'm going to show you how to set up and what it's going to look like. So, dragon lunge. First of all, dragon lunge. We'll do the right leg first. So the right foot is going to step to the outside of the right hand. So you're in a really long lunge here. If you need to pad the back knee at all, if it's sensitive and delicate, please do, or fold the mat over for double padding. And now the first minute or so of dragon lunge, we're going to come up So you can let your right hand rest onto the right leg or even the forearm. We're going to take a lateral side stretch. So here we're opening up through the front of the left leg into the spleen channel. And now when we lift the left arm up and over, you're going to bend the elbow, lungs. And we're going to stay here for the first minute or so. And you can really let yourself just hang here. And this left hand can support the side of the head, even like down to the ear, the right ear. I need to get my timer. And a dragon lunge with a side stretch. I'm not going to stay with you in it the whole time. You need to keep an eye on the clock, but you're already down to your last 60 seconds. You're not here for very long, so really keep this capacity and space open for you to receive this new inflow of lung qi, so that it's constantly helping you move through any grief. When times, we're grieving, we must really focus our attention to the lungs right now. Down to your last 15 seconds. At least a really good 3 nourishing breaths. Okay, final breath. Now forward fold in your dragon lunge. So the right arm will come down. I like to use my bolster on the inside of the right leg. Now you can use whatever you have to support you. It can be on your palms, but I like something underneath the palm. So for the next couple of minutes, you're not dumping all your upper body weight down into the wrists. Elbows. And now you still might feel this in the outer right hip. But remember that the intention is always to the energy pathways, and we're still focusing on this spleen channel here at the front of the left leg. Let me feel the stretch through the left hip flexor. Down to the last minute and a half, 90 seconds. anything that is in the way of causing you to have this real sense of vitality. And you know, when our vitality and our immunity is really built up and it's strong, on an energetic level, we really flow through life, even challenges, with more ease. If you feel like you're coming up against something, I mean, we all are at the moment, if you were to let go of the resistance, paves the pathway for you to create more space. And space in its health, its wealth internally. Last couple of breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. We'll come back up onto the palms. If you come down onto the forearms or the elbows, your choice whether you lie down onto the belly and compress into the stomach and front of the hips and the legs, or pentacle on your back. Okay, other side. If you're on your belly, push yourself up onto your hands and knees on your back. Knees hug to the chest first. You're rolling over to the left side. On your top arm, you push or the palm down into the earth, so you're coming up with the head up last. Your dragon lunge. On the other side, so your left leg will now step forward. Left forearm or elbow. You can even use the palms on top of one another or onto the left thigh. And then you find your side stretch. The right arm lifts up. Let the right arm become soft by bending the elbow. And the left hand, the right hand can cup the side of the left head just over the ear. Using anything that you need for support on the knees. And if at any time that the side stretch becomes too much, you can take the arm down, reset with a couple of breaths, and then you can come back in. You are already over halfway. Stay with the breath. Okay, taking 3 more really long, slow, deep breaths without rushing. I know it's tough. Okay, and then you let the right arm come down. Pillows, blankets, bolsters. So if you're tighter through the hips, you're more than likely to stay upright on the palms. The more open and spaciousness you are through the hips, that determines whether you come down a little bit further onto the forearms and the elbows. And then the bolster, especially if you're quite open through the hips, there may be the opportunity for you to lie down onto the bolster. Making sure that you're not rolling off to one side, because when we roll off to one side, what happens is we lose the integrity through the spleen channel on the right side. So making sure that the front of your hips is still facing down towards the earth. Constantly using the breath as a way to create space and boost your immunity. Breathe. Last minute. And if your breathing is not really long and deep, just back out a little bit. Back out a little bit from your dragon lunge so you can reestablish that really deep breath. Last breath here. Gently, if you're on your elbows, push yourself up onto your palms. Now everybody to lie on your back in pentacle. The rebound, the pentacle is literally the reset button. Everything is being reset back into place. The blood, the fluids, the chi, emotions, everything that creates your entire existence. Okay, from your backs, you will need something to go underneath your bottom for supported bridge. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can use a block with a blanket over it. You want something that's quite soft, or a couple of pillows. You could roll up a blanket so it's in like a long sausage shape, and you are going to slide the bolster underneath the bum. So you lift the hips underneath the bum, so the lower back, the sacrum and bum cheeks are resting onto your prop beneath you. And for this bridge, we're going to do a knees to chest bridge. So you'll begin to, and you can use a little bit of core here, hug the navel in, draw the knees in towards the chest so that you're almost in like a ball shape, like curled into a ball. And as the knees fall back towards the chest, let the legs become really soft. And then you can, if you have the space, what you can do is take the arms wide into a T shape or a cross shape. So as you reach the arms away from each other, opening up through the lung channel, and as the knees hug and compress, they are compressing down into the spleen and the energy pathway for the spleen. So this is, say, a little bit of lungs and spleen here. You have a good 5-minute hold here. You know, this time of year is a reflection for us to really look at what is in our lives that we so desperately cling to. And something that I've really worked on or worked with is we can often cling out of the mind frame of lack, because if we were to let go, what if what we're letting go of, something new doesn't come in, and then we're left in this space of almost nothingness. You know, that space, it's unknown territory. And it can be uncomfortable and challenging at times. But it's the energetic cycle of all life form. Things must die, and then things are reborn. And the suffering is when we cling to the thing that ultimately will pass away because it's the law of nature. You have 2 minutes. Any big sighs and yawns in the comfort of your own home. If it's something that you never ever really allowed yourself to do in the studio, let today or this evening be the time that you really give yourself permission to let that breath really be released from your body. Because there's great power in really open the mouth and all that lung chi and any stagnant energy that's been residing within the lungs, it now has the space to move. And what I really invite you into becoming aware of is when we have this opportunity to really and we hold back and we so timidly, we're not allowing ourselves to fully let go. There is a part of you that is still holding on by. So notice the difference between and that's powerful. Last big breath. Okay, slowly release the legs down. So the feet come to the floor, the knees will stay bent. Lift your bottom up, remove your props out from underneath you to the side. Lie down onto the back for pentacle. And if at any time you are feeling sensitive through the lower back, you can always bend the knees
take the feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees knock in. So you're taking the compression out of the lower back. And then when you feel that feeling in the lower back, it can become quite intense. When you find that seems to simmer away, then if you feel called, you can let the legs extend down into pentacle. Okay, you're going to stay on your back for banana. So I'm going to show you this again. If you, oh, my head's chopped off, oh no. So if you were laying on the floor, your body would look like a banana shape. So you're going to send your bottom up and over to the left side of the mat. Your bottom doesn't lift up off the floor, so you don't roll. Your whole back body stays down on the mat. It's just the arms and the feet that will move over towards the right side of the room. So left sit bone stays grounded. Ankles and feet move to the right. And to keep the left sit bone grounded, you can hook the right ankle over the left ankle. You can hold onto the left wrist with the right hand, left wrist with the right hand. And if you have more space through the shoulders, you can bend the elbows and hold opposite elbow. So your banana is starting to open into the left side body, into the lungs. At the same time, compressing into the lung energy pathway on the right side of your body. You allow the whole body to become soft. The softer that you become in your body, especially in the energetic body, rather than this tendency to hold, we soften and things just begin to move very freely. With all that fresh oxygenated blood and chi is moving into the lungs. Now providing you with information. Information about
navigating your way through the next couple of months with ease, so that when we arrive in spring, we've already done the work. We are preparing ourselves for spring. Letting go so that when spring arrives, we can receive the new. Because if we don't do the work now, when we get to spring, all the new things that are trying to come in, absolutely no way. There's no room and there's no space. I mean, can you imagine if every single tree and every single flower never let go of its leaves and never died and had this recycle? Can you just imagine living in a world without new life? Over halfway. Last 30 seconds. One last breath. And gently bring the arms down first. Shift the legs back into center, the bottom will follow. Pentacle. Okay, other side, banana. Bottom to the right side of the mat. Feet and the ankles move to the left. Left ankle goes up and over the right ankle, so the right sit bone stays grounded. If the tendency is that you start to roll up so that both sit bones aren't connected to the earth, you lose the focus of opening and creating space through the right side body. Both sit bones grounded, arms reaching overhead, holding on to the wrist, or if you're a little bit more flexy through the shoulders and the upper body, you can go a little bit deeper, bending the elbows. Please be mindful of your own practice, only moving within the boundaries and the framework with what you're working with today. When you become aware of your breath, you allow yourself to ride that wave of what the breath actually provides for us. There is an aliveness and it's a vitality.
letting go through the power of the breath. In 2 minutes. Please take your final 2 breaths. Releasing the arms down first. And then the legs come back to center, lying flat on the back for pentacle. Okay, hugging knees to chest, rolling to the left, head comes up last, butterfly, forward fold. You'll be sitting on your bottom. Remember, if you're tight through hips and lower back, something underneath the bottom. I like to take a block. You may have a book, a
a couple of pillows, a blanket folded over a couple of times so that the knees, they part and fall away from each other. And now as you forward fold and you allow yourself to just literally drape forward. Remember, you can use bolsters if you have bolsters. You're draping the upper body, so there's not much effort required. And as you compress down into the spleen area and the stomach area, you also start to open up the back body between the shoulder blades and into the lungs. You can always support your head with book, block. If there's anything going on with the neck, if you're sensitive, fragile. Otherwise, you're here now in your butterfly forward fold. For the next 4 to 5 minutes. Finding the connection of the breath and the mind is something that will really change your yin practice, because when we are quite restrictive and muddled in the mind and the thoughts, it really has an impact on the way that we breathe. So when we begin to breathe really consciously, it overrides this muddled thinking. So that when we can really allow ourselves to ride the breath, we are more connected to what they say in traditional Chinese medicine. The lungs is our connection to spirit, heavens above.
well over halfway. Thirty seconds. Last breath. Use your hands. Gently press down into the palms. Roll up through the spine so the head comes up last. Lying down onto the back for pentacle. And if you feel called to let your hands fall anywhere on the body, let them rest wherever is comfortable. Knees to chest. Rolling to the left. And pushing yourself up, head up last. Okay, and now we're coming into our final big hold for this evening. This is what we have been working our way up to. We even started in Seiza preparing for full saddle. Now, I'm going to suggest, if you do have a block or a book, to use this. And how it's going to work is, you're going to place the block between the feet long ways, on the short side of it long ways, so that the ankles hug in towards the block and your bottom sits down onto the block. Now, if you're really sensitive and delicate through the knees and the ankles, what it may look like for you to actually sit back onto the heels is you may need to put another block under or another book. Knees, towel or blanket, you can always roll it into this sausage shape again and place it underneath the backs of the knees so you're not compressing down so much into the knees. And the same thing with the ankles. If you're sensitive on the ankles, roll the blanket or the towel and slide it underneath the heels. Okay, so from here, this may be your full saddle, staying in an upright position, and it's okay. Otherwise, if you are more open through the ankles and the shins and the quads and the hip flexors, you may be able to start to go back. Now, if you have more props at home and more blocks, you can always prop your bolster. You can have a block behind you, long ways. Let the bolster rest on the block, and then you will lie back. And now the most important thing is that the knees stay down onto the ground. So you're not putting pressure on the knee joints by lifting the knees up. The knees stay connected to the earth. So you're in a deep back bend here. And now the other thing that you can do, if you are feeling the compression through the lower back, is if you just draw and tuck the tailbone under. You may need to lift the bum slightly and then draw and tuck the tailbone under towards the knees. You take the compression and the space out of the lower back, or space through the lower back, and you begin to open and create more space through the front line of your body. So opening, expanding into the spleen channel. And then if you want to go a little bit extra and include the lungs, you can reach the arms overhead, but only if you can let the arms soften. You don't want to have to hold the arms up in the air. You can go wide, you can rest onto the belly. Full saddle, 5 minutes. Remember, if you're not lying all the way down, kneeling, propping yourself up as best you can, knees, ankles, props underneath the bottom. And no matter where you are, we always come back to the exact same intention of every single moment. Allowing ourselves to sit in whatever is arising, to ride the wave, to move through the uncomfortableness. Because that is really what boosts our vitality. We keep moving through rather than things coming towards us and then we become still and stagnant. We move through it, and it's with a gracefulness. We become stronger humans, we become more compassionate.
As you let yourself be here for the last hold for this evening, if you knew that rebirth, new beginnings, new life was on its way to you, would you really be so afraid and having to let go of what's no longer serving you anymore? Already down to the last minute. See if you can allow the bum to become a little bit more heavy. Okay, take your last 2 breaths. And if you're laying back on a bolster, use your palms to bring yourself up. You're going to come out the same way that you came in. Be gentle, be mindful of your knees. Move your props to the side, lie down onto the back and hug the knees in towards the chest. And then you can stay here with the knees hugging in. Take some gentle rocks from side to side so that you really feel the connection of your tailbone into the earth. Okay, take one full breath in. Open the mouth. And now you release the legs down into your final pentacle. And if you have a bolster or 2 cushions,
Place them on top of the hips, long ways. We've been working on the front of the hips, so the legs get to switch off and relax. This is a grounding energy. Let yourself do whatever it is that you need to do to get comfortable for the next couple of minutes. Eye pillows, lights out, blankets. before you begin to move, bring your awareness back inwards. Allow yourself to reside in the space of becoming familiar with this essence of letting go, because now as you begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers, there is a rebirth, there is new life. Making your way onto the left side of your body. And coming all the way up to find a comfortable seat. We're going to finish with some chi rub. So you'll bring the palms together to touch. And you'll rub the palms. So all that fresh, new chi. We now get to send it to the spleen. So you place the palms on the left side of your body, really high up in the rib cage, more so at the front. So that the spleen gets to receive a little chi bath. Bring the palms back together, chi rub. Let your palms become nice and warm. In the lungs. Place the palms underneath the collarbones. And any more full breaths and big exhales that you need to take to really honor the process. This is your last chance. One more breath. Palms together. Namaste. Thank you for practicing and spending your evening with me, and I'll see you soon.